Well, a doula is from a Greek word, and it means person of service. In days gone by, every village had a doula who would help people through major transitions of their life. So there were birth doulas who helped women give birth, and there were also death doulas who helped people facing the end of life. Currently on Kangaroo Island, if somebody passes, if they die, at the moment, people tend to call a funeral director who comes from the mainland. It's quite expensive. If people, on the other hand, want a natural funeral, a home funeral, and they'd like a natural burial, there's no reason for a person to go off the island at all. They can stay right here, and the people that love them the most can care for them through that whole process. So KI Doula Services can offer care from years and years and years before someone passes. It could be that somebody says, you know what, I'd really like to write an advance care directive. Maybe a doula could help me do that. Or I'd really like to plan for a funeral, a home funeral. Maybe a doula could help me to do that. And then they might not think about it again for years. There are also things that KI Doula Services can provide after someone has died, so that people can have their person with them at home. For up to 5 days, you can have somebody at home, and there are ways that that can be done. And then a family can spend time with their loved one. They have time to say goodbye. They aren't rushed, they aren't pressured, they aren't hurried. They can just create a very peaceful and loving and intimate environment, so they can farewell that person in a way that suits them. During the death process itself, if someone is ill and it's an expected death, support people of that person's choosing can be around at that time. They might like to hold vigil, they might like to be there. A doula can coordinate vigil provision. A doula can give a bit of respite if the family, if it's been a long process and the family are exhausted, are tired, a doula can give them a bit of a break if that's what they want. It's really about the people closest planning the way that they would like to conduct that process, and the person who is facing death to feel as supported and loved as possible. Just after someone's passed can be very distressing, very chaotic and very challenging, and yet it's at that time, if people haven't planned, that they're suddenly being asked to make all these decisions when they're least able to, because it's a very emotional time. So if the conversation's been had beforehand, then people are more equipped to be able to just experience whatever it is they're experiencing without having to worry about the details that often, and the decisions that they're often being asked to make. A doula can stand by them, where people can be reminded, oh, that's right, this is what we talked about. That's right, this is what we chose to do. Such a great thing to be able to say to people, you've got this, you can do this. Remember, this is what we talked about. And for people to feel confident, and really people just want to feel that they're doing the best they can and that they've done everything they can. It's actually a really profound act of love. And as difficult as those conversations might be, KI Doula Services can step you through the conversations so that everybody's on the same page and that we really end up celebrating someone's life. The experience of being with someone who's dying is different for everybody, and it really depends on their values and their beliefs. Everyone's experience is different. That's why we can't have a cookie cutter approach to the end of life and to the processes that lead up to and follow a death. It's completely personalised and completely individual.